Today we're here to do a book haul, my friends. The last time I did a book haul, I actually don't remember when my last book haul was, but I have acquired a lot of books since then, so we have a lot to go through. You will see though that through this book haul, at least half, if not more than half, of these books are books I bought specifically because they were pretty. You put sprayed edges on a book and I'm gonna buy it. I also have a lot of romance and romantasy, and that has like dominated my reading this year, honestly. So I have not organized this. I haven't put them into piles. We're just gonna get into it. When the Moon Hatched, I didn't buy because it was pretty, although it is pretty. I bought because I actually read it. I listened to the audiobook and I fell in love with it. I gave it 5 stars, and so I bought myself a physical copy. It is gorgeous. Beautiful end pages, beautiful edges that are stunning. I love this color. I'm not going to get into the synopsis. I'm not going to get into synopses for most of these because we don't have the time. A couple arcs that I have picked up or received recently. This one I picked up from work. This is Blood of the Old Kings by Sung Il Kim, translated by Anton Her. I always get excited about translated fantasy. I don't pick up a lot of it and I want to start picking up more of it. But how could I not want to read this with a dragon on the cover? The interesting thing about this is that the world is run, the empire is run on necromancy. Dead sorcerers are the lifeblood of this world. So they wrap their dead sorcerers' corpses in chains and drain them of magic to feed their conquest. And that was all I really needed. That hook there was all I really needed to want to pick this up. So I'm excited about this. And then the other one was so kindly sent to me by Orbit, so thank you to Orbit. This is The Phoenix Keeper by S.A. McLean. I know a lot of people were reading this earlier this year when it came out and maybe enjoying it. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it, but have I been on BookTube? Not really. This is set in a magical zoo. Need I say more? It says that it is a fierce joy of a cozy fantasy with a soul-restoring queer romance at its heart. So we got a little romance, we got a little cozy fantasy, we got a magical zoo. That's it. Speaking of a little romance, we've got some romance books here. The first being Morbidly Yours by Ivy Fairbanks. I got to meet Ivy Fairbanks somewhat recently when she did an event at my Barnes & Noble, and this sounded so incredibly cute. One of my coworkers read it and really enjoyed it, so I picked it up and got it signed. Got this cute little art print to go along with it, and as you can see, it is signed to Laura. She was very, very sweet, and so I'm excited to give this a read. This is about a undertaker falling in love. He has to marry by his 35th birthday, and she's sworn off love. I'm very excited. I think it's gonna be super cute. I picked up one of my anticipated releases for the year, which is A Dark and Drowning Tide by Alison Saft. After reading A Fragile Enchantment by this author at the beginning of the year, I will pick up every single thing she writes, everything. This is a dark academia set at sea, gothic romance, sapphic romance. Did I mention that? It sounds like everything I could ever want in my life, and I don't know why I haven't read it yet, other than, you know, the reading slump and the fact that 2024 has kicked my ass. It really has. But I have it, so I will hopefully get to it soon. I of course picked up the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore by Lori Gilmore, which you might have seen in a reading vlog at the beginning of fall. I did like a fall romance reading vlog, which was very unsuccessful. But the first book in this series I did read in that vlog, which was The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I really loved it. It was really cute. This is the second book. This takes place in summer. Despite its ridiculously fall cover, it takes place in the summer, which is why I put it on pause, and I was like, I will pick it up again in either the spring or summer, but it wasn't the vibe for the fall. But this one sounds fun because it follows the bookstore owner, and there's a little mystery to solve in here. It looks like someone's leaving clues in books. So I'm excited. I will be getting to that next year for sure. I picked up Sex, Lies, and Sensibility by Nikki Payne. I picked this up at the used bookstore. I remember like reading the first page or so and really getting on with it and like chuckling, and I thought this could be fun. Do I remember what it's about now? No, we don't need to get into it. I picked this up. I'm excited to read it. I needed more romance on my shelf, and more romance on my shelf is what I did. So also picked up A Not So Meet Cute by Megan Quinn. I've heard good things about Megan Quinn, though I haven't read any of her books, but what intrigued me mostly was the fact that this is illustrated, and I guess all of her books are. I don't know why the thought of illustrations in a romance novel just really excited me. It just really excited me, that's all it was. I don't remember what this is even about, to be honest with you, but I will be reading a Megan Quinn in December because I did put her latest holiday romance on my TBR. So we'll see how I get on with her writing, and we'll see what happens with this one. The next three I have to talk about are arcs that I got from various places. So this one I picked up at work. This is Bloodguard by CC Robson. This is a Red Tower title. The final edition is stunning. Oh, here. That's what it looks like. The final edition looks like that. And I didn't pick it up. I did not buy it. You should be proud of me, because have I bought almost every other Red Tower title? Yes. But this one I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about, because it is why am I not sure how I'm gonna feel about it? What was the thing about this? I know that it has like, okay, so it says 100 years, tens of thousands of gladiators, and today one will rise. There's this blood sport competition type thing. I don't know that that's necessarily my thing, because I know like things like this always get compared to the Hunger Games, but the Hunger Games is very singular in that, yes, it has that competition, that bloody competition, but really it's about revolution. And I feel like people forget that when they compare things to the Hunger Games. Like the Hunger Games had a lot more going on than just the trials, you know what I mean? So I don't know that this is my thing outside of the Hunger Games. We shall see. I have the arc. I will read it. This came out back in October. We'll see. Orbit then sent me The Scholar and the Last Fairy Door by H.G. Perry, who is an author that I have read from before and really enjoyed. So I'm excited to pick this one up. This seems comfy, cozy, beautiful, enchanting. It takes place in 1920 Camford, gilded and glittering, England's premier secret magical academy. A secret magical academy in England, like, sounds perfect. Takes place around World War I. There's fairies involved. I think I'm gonna like it. I do like H.G. Perry's writing. From work, I picked up The 13th Child by Erin A. Craig, which is another one that, like, at least the Barnes & Noble exclusive editions were stunning, and I didn't buy one, and I kind of feel regret about that. But I do have the arc, and I am excited to read it. This is a new gothic YA horror by this author. I really enjoyed House of Salt and Sorrows. It is another fairy tale retelling done gothic horror style. So I think it'll be good, and feels like one that I should have read during the fall. So I don't know if I'll save it for next fall or if I'll get to it sooner. We shall see. I, of course, picked up a finished copy. Now I'm worried about the lighting. Is that better? I don't know. I can't tell. Anyway, Air by Sava Tahir, which is the book that I'm currently reading that I really need to finish because I've been reading it for like a month. This is her newest. This is the start of a duology. It takes place in the Ember in the Ashes world, which you really do need to read the Ember in the Ashes quartet before you get to this one, because we're following some of the same characters and it's going to spoil everything that happens in that series. So do pick that up before you pick this up. It's amazing so far. I cannot wait to finish it. But I picked up the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, which is blue. We've got these beautiful blue end pages of a map there. And the naked hardcover looks like this. It is quite the stunning book. She continues to put these characters through so much shit that it's just not right. It's not right, and she needs to be stopped, but I love it. I love it. So yes, of course I had to get myself a finished copy. I picked up Devils Kill Devils by Johnny Compton, who wrote The Spite House, which was his debut, and I really did enjoy The Spite House. His books are really short. The first one was really short, this one's really short, and in that first book, it was very much, let's get right to the point, and I appreciate that sometimes. You know, I love a good slow burn and I love a good wordy novel, but sometimes you just wanna be in it, right? And I think that this is probably going to be similar, but this is a horror, and I don't even know what's happening in here because I remember reading the synopsis and being like, so what? It says Sarita has been watched over by a guardian angel her entire life. She calls him Angelo and keeps him a secret, but some secrets won't stay hidden. When Angelo murders someone she loves, Sarita begins to see what horrors have really been lurking in the shadows surrounding her, and she will have to embrace the evil within if she hopes to make it out alive. That's all it says in the synopsis. And like, that sounds good. That was enough to get me very, very intrigued. So I had to pick up a copy, especially because I loved the cover of this. Something about it just really pulls you in. I picked up, oh, another romance. We've got The Charmed List by Julie Abbey. So earlier this year, I actually read Julie Abbey's middle grade book, which is Eva Evergreen, The Semi-Magical Witch. Didn't love it, but really did enjoy her writing. So I'm excited to read a YA romance by her. This is a very summery YA romance. Is it a road trip? I don't know, but our main character is slightly magical in some way, and I just thought that would be a really cool. I was trying to say cute there. I'm not sure what happened. This sounds like it could be really cute. Saving it for the summer, of course. I picked up another copy of Where the Dark Stands Still by A.B. Poranek. Oh, I almost just lost a whole stack of books. So this, I had, like, at the used bookstore, I picked up a UK bound edition that had a sprayed edge. I read it and I loved it. I think I gave this 5 stars, if I'm not mistaken. And what I bought the US edition because I thought that it was the same size as the UK, and I was going to take this cover and put it on the one with the sprayed edge. Didn't work out because they're different sizes, so now I just have 2 copies, and that's how I'm going to live my life. But I couldn't not have this cover because this cover is absolutely stunning, and I needed it in my life, so I bought it. I have Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Muss. This was in the top 20 of the Goodreads Choice Awards for the Romantasy category, and it sounded interesting enough for me to just grab a copy the next time I went to work, and so I did. All it took was the little byline. It says, "I'm just a girl, and as it turns out, I'm Hercules." And I was like, okay. I will read it. Also, one of my managers at work has read it and loved it and raves about it, so like that was incentive as well. But apparently she's Hercules. Do I need to look more into it? No, I don't. This is another arc that I picked up from work. This is A Perfect Day to Be Alone by Nane Aoyama, translated by Jessie Kirkwood. This is Japanese bestseller, I believe, and it just seems like it's gonna be one of those deeply moving, heartfelt, cry your eyes out Japanese translated fiction works, and I thought, why not? It's super short. Do I know anything else about it? No. This was actually one of my birthday gifts. I guess I could have put them all together, but I didn't think about that. Because I had a birthday in October. I got Trial of the Sun Queen by Nisha J. Tooley, which is a romantasy, start of a romantasy series. It says 10 women, a deadly contest, only one can win the Sun King's heart. So we've got some kind of trials in here, as the title would suggest. I've heard good things about this, and I've been interested in starting this series, so I'm very happy to have this. Other than that, I can't tell you much else about it. Another arc that I picked up from work is the new Eric LaRocca, which is coming out in January. This is At Dark, I Become Loathsome. Have I read anything by Eric LaRocca? No. Am I no, yes, I picked it up, okay? Because yes, I am. I have been curious about Eric LaRocca. All of his books just look like they're too much, just a little bit too much for me. But I thought, here's a pain-free way of trying him out, right? So I have it. It's short. I wanted to get to it this October, but of course I didn't. What is this? I have, oh, like a shit ton of bookmarks. Not a shit ton. I got three bookmarks, but Okay. When night falls, people become who they truly are. Beware. If you're reading this, you've likely thought that the world would be a better place without you. Oh. Only through pain can we find healing. Only through death can we find new life. What is happening? A single line of text glowing in the darkness of the internet, written by Ashley Luton, who has often thought the same and worse in the years since his wife died and his young son disappeared. But the peace of the grave is not for him. It's for those he can help. Ashley has constructed a peculiar ritual for those who desire to die, for those whose desire to die is at war with their yearning to live a better life. Struggling to overcome his own endless grief, one night Ashley finds connection with Jinx, a potential candidate for Ashley's next ritual. What is the ritual? Who spins a tale both revolting and fascinating, thus begins a relationship that traps the two men in an ever-tightening spiral of painful revelations, where long-hidden secrets are dragged kicking and screaming into the light. Another arc I picked up from work is Sword Crossed by Freya Marsk. This is the author that wrote A Marvelous Light, which I haven't read, so I don't know why I mentioned that. But it's a cozy, low stakes of legends and lattes meet the scorching bodyguard fantasy of From Blood and Ash in this enemies to lovers romance where, yes, the swords do cross. That's hilarious and adorable, and very excited for more cozy fantasy romance because I love that. Okay, what have we got? We've got some more romance. I recently picked this up at the used bookstore because it sounded interesting. This is The Unmarked Witch by Miranda Lynn. I think this is one that I'm going to choose for my next pick for the Black Hat Book Coven for us to read together. This is the start of a series. It's a romantasy, and it says a land where witches wear their spells like tattoos. And that was all I read of the synopsis before I was like, that sounds interesting, and I bought it. So, excited to read it. Best Hex Ever by Nadia Alfasi is one of my favorite books of the year. I read it in October, absolutely fell in love with it. It is a cozy, witchy romance. A little cat familiar that may or may not talk and give her advice, and just everything about this was magical and beautiful, and I loved it. And I'm dying to try and get my hands on any kind of special edition of this that I can. I know that there are a couple out there in the world. And I want them. Another one of my most anticipated releases of 2024 was Now Comes the Night by Julie C. Dow. This is a gothic romance retelling of Dracula adjacent inspired, a lush, thoughtful, seductive reimagining of the Dracula mythos. And it's by Julie C. Dow, who wrote one of the best, if not the best, villain origin stories that I've ever read, and it was a YA and I loved it. What was it called? I think it was called Forest of a Thousand Lanterns, if I'm not mistaken. And I still think about that book to this day because it was just so juicy. And the idea of her writing gothic romance really excites me. Another arc that I have is The Swarm by Andy Marino. This is a horror that is probably too long because that seems excessive. It's 500 pages. It's 500 pages of a horror novel involving cicadas. I love cicadas, and I'm worried about how this is going to make me view them. After reading, but it's about cicadas swarming and like literally killing people, so sounds fun. Okay, we had a romance event at my work. We actually have a romance event every month at my job. One of the returning authors is Luna Laurier, who is a local author, who is just the sweetest, funniest, beautifulest woman you could ever meet. And I picked up this series, which I did own in paperback, but she had the hardcovers. These are the extended edition, or they have extra content. And so I was like, if I'm gonna read this series, which of course I'm gonna read this series because I love her as a person and I feel like I'm gonna love her writing. So we've got Of Shadow and Moonlight, which is the first book. We've got To Ashes and Dust, which is the second book. And then we've got the little novella that comes in between them, which is Tipped in Frost and Blood. And I promise you I will get to these as soon as I possibly can. They're, oh my god, I can't show you that bookmark. It's explicit. But look at this. Look at the beauty that is this cover. Here's the cover of the novella, and of course they're all signed and personalized to me, as you can see. And I had to do it. I had to do it, but I'm also really excited to read this series. Beautiful bookmark, which matches the cover. And then I got this little art print of this little cat demon guy, which I'm excited to learn more about. Is that focusing? There we go. And then another cute little bookmark with the same cute little cat demon guy that I'm excited to learn more about. So happy to have all this, excited to get into this series in 2025. I started doing a thing at the end of this year that I like always swear I'm not gonna do, and that's buy an entire series before reading it. But I did that. But this is What the River Knows and Where the Library Hides by Isabel Ibáñez. I think I'm gonna love this. I hear it compared a lot to The Mummy, and I feel like this is gonna be my thing. I feel like it's gonna be my thing, and I had to have it, especially because we recently just got back in these exclusive editions, and I think we got the last of them that we're gonna get. So this was the time to buy it so that I could have matching Barnes & Noble exclusive editions. Got these beautiful end pages, and the naked hardcover has these beautiful end pages. Look at the end pages and the naked hardcover. And so I had to have them, and I do think I will enjoy them, and I'm excited to read them. But I can't make a habit of this. I really can't. Retail therapy, you know, that's what it was the past couple months. Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling, which was one that was getting a lot of buzz and people seemed to really be enjoying when it was self-pub, and then it got picked up traditionally, and this is it. This is the trad pub release. It's got this beautifully stunning map in here. We've got dragons and we've got romance, and what more do we need? Nothing. Another anticipated release of mine was January's by Olivia Blake, Stories of Love, Magic, and Betrayal. This is a short story collection, and it's actually separated out into seasons, and I thought it would be really fun to just read it through the seasons, if that makes sense. So pick up all of the winter stories this winter and the spring stories in the spring. So I might do that. It is illustrated as well with these beautiful illustrations. And it's got these stunning end pages by the same artist. And Olivia Blake is one of my favorite authors, so I will read absolutely everything that she writes. Then we have The Veiled Kingdom by Holly Renee. I've been talking for so long today that words are escaping me. But this is The Veiled Kingdom. It is a YA, I believe, romantasy that I've heard good things about. I've heard good things about Holly Renee in general. I couldn't pass up the opportunity to pick this up when we got in the hardcover at work because it looks like this, and that is why. I'm excited to like take the dust jacket off and just display it on my shelf like this. What is it about, you ask? Good question. I don't know. Okay, I have a weird thing about synopses that are told from the point of view of the main character. They annoy me, and I don't know why they annoy me. Please let me know if you have this issue. Synopses in general sometimes annoy me, but when it's from the, because like this says, fleeing my father's cruelty, the wicked king who robbed me of a future. I hate that. Don't do that. Like, just give me a synopsis and don't, like, I don't know. I don't know why I hate it so much, but I do. And so I'm not going to read you the synopsis. So this recently came out. This is a re-release of a story that S.T. Gibson wrote before writing Evocations, but it is set in the same world. Now, I think that this has been expanded since that first one came out. This is Odd Spirits by S.T. Gibson, and it's like 0.5 in the series. So I don't know if you can read this first, probably, right? Although I would want to read Evocation first and then go back to this. But in Evocation, we follow David, Moira, and Reese. And in here, we're just following Reese and Moira, the beginning of their relationship or something like that they're dealing with. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna read Evocation then read this, but I had to get this because I know I'm gonna love Evocation, and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, and it's so cute and tiny, so I bought it. And the end pages look like this, so how could I not want to own it? This one, did talk about it in my November TBR because I was supposed to read it for November. I didn't, but this is The Last Dragoners of Babazar by Idra Das. I'm excited about it. It's really short. This is a Subterranean Press signed and numbered edition, and I got it at the used bookstore for like 20 bucks, so I was proud of that. I picked up The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Khaw. I read Cassandra Khaw's, I believe it was their debut, Nothing But Blackened Teeth, and I really enjoyed it. It's so creepy. It's so creepy. So I'm expecting some creepiness with this as well. And this is somewhat of a mermaidy, watery horror, fairy tale-esque horror. T. Kingfisher blurbed it. So she said, "The bones of a fairy tale sunk deep in a charnel house of descriptive prose, an elegant confection with a blood-soaked core. I devoured it in one sitting." So that sounds promising. I do enjoy Cassandra Khaw's writing. It's very pretentious, and I love that. And then I picked up Horror Movie, which is another anticipated release from you by Paul Tremblay, because I read The Pallbearers Club by Paul Tremblay and loved it so much. So I do want to read literally everything. Like, I want to keep up with his releases and read his backlist. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, okay? I've got a lot to read. Those are the end pages, which look really cool. So this is like a cursed film type of book. In June 1993, a group of young guerrilla filmmakers spent 4 weeks making Horror Movie, a notorious, disturbing art house horror flick. The weird part, only 3 of the film scenes were ever released to the public, but Horror Movie has nevertheless grown a rabid fan base. And I think there's like, they're doing a remake of the film, and things are happening. That's all I know. I got this beautiful Barnes & Noble exclusive edition with the red sprayed edges, which I'm very happy about. Wanted to get to this in October, but didn't. But I will get to it soon. I'm not gonna wait until next October. I'm gonna read it sooner than that. So this is the other case in which I bought an entire series without having read the first book, because I just think that this is gonna be the series for me. And it was a box set of all of the hardcovers in the Belladonna series by Adeline Grace with the beautiful naked hardcovers, and I wanted it for that reason. You know, obviously if I read the first book and I like it, I want them all to match, and I didn't want the paperbacks, because we got exclusive paperbacks that had sprayed edges, and I'm like, I can't get a sprayed edge version of the first book, so I just bought the box set, because why not? So we have got Belladonna, which is the first book, and this is very much, I believe, like a Death and the Maiden coded type YA fantasy, which is something that I always love, so I think I'm gonna love it. It's got beautiful end pages and a beautiful naked hardcover. The second book is Foxglove, which is even more stunning of a cover. There's the end pages and the naked hardcover. And then the final book is Wisteria, which looks like this. End pages and naked hardcover. Next, I picked up the Barnes & Noble exclusive collector editions of One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. We've got this beauty, which is the first book. Another one that is like gothic romance fantasy. That sounds right up my alley. I've been wanting to read this first book for so long, and now that I have these beautiful editions, I have even more incentive. We've got these beautiful sprayed edges, as you can see, stenciled edges, excuse me, end pages, and the naked hardcovers, like this. But like these, the dust jackets are truly the beauty here, with all the foiling, the sprayed edge. And then we've got the second book here, Two Twisted Crowns, that looks like this. And those are the sprayed edges and papers and naked hardcover. I was so excited to have these. Also, these are extremely heavy. I will not be reading these copies. I'll probably get the ebooks of these to read on my Kindle. But oh, they're like inside is really pretty as well. So I don't know, I might need to have a little flip through, you know, but they're way too heavy for me to actually read the physical edition. We've got Under the Oak Tree, the novel, volume 1 by Suji Kim. I don't know the origins of this. I don't know how it started. Was it the comic first? Is it an anime? Like, what? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that this copy is gorgeous. The sprayed edges there, the stenciled edges. I just had to have the book. Also, this is the printed hardcover. It doesn't have a dust jacket. Did I look at the synopsis before? But I didn't. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know what to tell you guys. You know me at this point. I am a sucker for a pretty book. And I will give anything a chance if it's pretty. Oh, look at the top. Look at those edges. Like, it's just so pretty. So this is from Bramble, and Bramble is doing things now with stenciled edges. This is The Stars Are Dying by Chloe C. Peñaranda. It is a romantasy, and it's gorgeous, and it has really low reviews on Goodreads, but I am still determined to try it for myself because it does sound interesting. I remember reading the synopsis and saying, you know what? That does sound interesting. We've got these glittery golds end papers and the naked hardcover. Like, when the naked hardcover looks like this, you just buy it. You know what I mean? This one I picked up used. This is Curse of the Wolf King by Tassanja Odette. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, Entangled with Fae. Entangled with Fae, I think, is the series, right? But there's Fae. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. It's beautiful. So I picked it up. I had store credit at the time too, so I think I got it for free. This is what sold me. This is what sold me. And this is what I love, and I honestly want to see more of, is the naked hardcover with the characters on it. Because I love that. And I think I'm gonna at least enjoy this book. I hope. But Beauty and the Beast retelling romantasy really does do it for me almost every time. So hopefully that one will too. I picked up the traditionally published edition of Blood Over Bright Haven by M.L. Wong, which was originally self-pub. M.L. Wong is the author who wrote The Sword of Kaigan, which is to this day one of my favorite books of all time. And I say to this day, like it's so old. It's not. It's just one of my favorite books of all time. And so, of course, I'm going to read everything by this author. Stunning. This was one of my most anticipated releases, and I had to have this edition. We've got this beautiful end page here map, and nothing on the dust jacket, just plain, but very stunning regardless, and heavy. This, I've been reading my Kindle a lot, so like hardcovers feel so heavy to me. Like, I always framed this as dark academia, but like some people say it's not dark academia, so I don't really know what's going on. All I know is that I want to read it, and I need to read it very soon. We're almost there. We're almost at the end. We've got Voyage of the Damned by Frances White. It is a little cozy fantasy murder mystery on a vessel on the water. A magical, murderous, romantic romp through a fantasy world as colorful as it is captivating. That's what Thea Guanzon said. One of my managers read this one and really, really loved it. It's queer, it's fun, and it's beautiful. We've got beautiful stenciled edges, beautiful cover, end pages, and beautiful naked hardcover. So I bought it because of her recommendation, but also because it was pretty. I have a lot of books to put away. Another Red Tower title. This is The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. This one sounds really good because it involves gods, and like, if you know anything about me, you know that gods are a buzzword for me when it comes to fantasy. So I'm excited for this. It also has a competition trial type situation, so we'll see about that. But this has like one of the most stunning end pages that I've ever seen. I love that so much. That is the naked hardcover. The stenciled edge, I don't know if I showed that, is very pretty. I think these are Greek gods that we're dealing with. Yeah, I see Zeus. So there you go. Excited to read this one. We've got Immortal Dark, which I have already read. I read it in October. I really enjoyed it. Gave it 4 stars. But I originally picked it up because it's beautiful, and I'm glad that I enjoyed it. And I feel like, you know, a lot of us picked this up when it came out because it was beautiful. And black vampires, I mean, come on. All we have left, my battery's flashing. I've changed my battery twice now. I think I need to get new batteries because they seem to be dying extremely quickly, although I have been sitting here talking for a very long time. So I've got my fairy loots from the months since my last book haul. We've got August, right? Which was Long Live Evil by Sarah Reese Brennan. We've got October, which was Sorcery and Small Magics by, how do you say that? Masha? Ducey? I don't know. Then we've got November. No, wait, I did this all wrong. August? Oh, I skipped September. No, it is August, September, October, and November. That's what these are. And it's really not, it doesn't make that much of a difference. So I don't know why I wasted so much time trying to figure out what months they were. But Long Live Evil is what I'm very excited for. I've heard so many good things about it. So I'm dying to read it. This edition is stunning. Look at those stenciled edges and the end pages and the naked hardcover. I'm gonna try to like blow through these really quickly because my battery's flashing. One of my most anticipated reads, The Gods Below, that I still haven't read yet, but I'm excited to. These are the edges, and there's like this jewel, and like it's part of the story. I did start reading this, I just never finished. But I don't love the way that looks, unfortunately. But oh look, my little things in there. But I am excited for the book. We've got these end pages and the naked hardcover, which is very, very beautiful. And then we've got The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong, which is a cute little cozy fantasy that I'm very excited to read. And this edition is just so gorge. Love the stenciled edges. They're beautiful. And look at these end pages. How, like, this is so beautiful. I need to take more time on this one because look at the color scheme here. The pink and the light baby blue. Like, I am obsessed with how this looks. This is probably one of the prettiest books that Fairy Loot has done this year. I love it so much. Also, I didn't show any reverse dust jacket art, but it's not as pretty as, and there's a little kitty. Look at the little kitty. Well, not a little kitty. Kind of a chunky kitty. Kind of fat. And then we've got Sorcery and Small Magics. The stencil edge is, I really like the violin there. I think that's really pretty. I think the magic system has something to do with music. But these are the end pages, and I love the foiling on the end pages. I think that this is such a stunning image. I haven't been showing you the back end pages, which are different, but we don't have time. This is the naked hardcover. Focus. I'm very excited to read this one. I'm very excited to read all of these, and I need to do so before I lose that excitement, because I find that I do tend to lose the excitement after a while, and then they just sit on my shelves. So this month we're gonna get into all of my goals and stuff for my reading for next year, and we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about book buying. But that, my friends, is my ridiculously large book haul. I am very much hoping that in the future we will not have such large book hauls. I hope you enjoyed, however, but talk to me down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. I know there's so many books here to talk about, but let me know which one of these you've read and like really recommend, like what you think I should get to prioritize immediately. If you made it this far in the video, you're a real one. If you don't have anything to say, you can leave me. Let's just do a book stack emoji because the books are stacking. That's gonna be it for me today. I will see you in my next one. I don't know why I did that. That was so weird. I don't do that. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.